Hey, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zaki from Nizam, and we got a question one, and I will explain you guys about the LAN network of the question, which is all 20 PC must be connected to one switch and a router which is connected to the switch, and all the 20 PC can be accessed to the web server. This is the web server on the PC, and to make sure the network is correct, for example, let's try to send data from C0 to server. We'll try to ping the web server, and the web server will go back to the C0. See, everything. So for another example, if we want to try to ping PC1 to PC11, so our network is already correct. So and we use the fiber optic cable. For the reason, it will be explained to the next person, which is AFIF and HUSNA, and why we use this topology, and it will be explained by AKMAL and ALYA. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Next one is topology. Star topology. So for our group project, we use star topology. In star topology, all the components of network are connected to the central device called hub, which may be a hub, a router, or a switch. Here, all the workstations are connected to central device with a point-to-point connection. Advantages. First, it's easy to install, configure, and manage the star network topology since it's the simplest network topology. It's also easy to detect faulty device because failure of one node or link does not affect the rest of the network, so you can detect the failure and troubleshoot it. The next advantage is it's easier to expand, which means it's easy to connect new nodes or devices. In star topology, new nodes can be added and removed easily without affecting the rest of the network. The last one is connecting or removing device does not affect the entire network because the nodes are not connected to each other.
Hello, my name is Mohd AKMAL, and today I will explain to you about the disadvantages of star topology. So, the first one is that if the centralized device, hub or switch fails, the entire network will get affected. This is because the nodes are connected to one switch or hub in this topology. So, the next one is it is quite expensive because we are using the router, switch or hub as the centralized device. It will increase the overall cost of the network. And lastly, there is a limited number of nodes that can be connected in this topology. This is because we are using the hub, switch or router as the centralized device. They can only connected to a limited number of nodes or stations. Next, I will explain about the hardware that we are using in designing this topology. So the first one is the fiber optic cable. Mode multi-mode 50/125 connected with the connector MTRG. The price is RM25 with and we need quantity 330 meters. So the next one we have the which is the centralized device in this topology. The price is RM4,161. The quantity that we need is 1 because we are using the star topology. Next we have the server to connect the PC to a home page that the employer request. So the price for the server is RM1,859 and the quantity that we need is 1 only. And the next one is the router. The price is RM5,325 and the quantity that we need is 1 only. So that totals up to the RM19,595, which not exceeded the budget that we are given. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. I am AFIF and I will explain about the advantages of fiber optic. The first advantage is connection quality. Fiber optic are resistant to electromagnetic interference and have a low rate of bit error. Electromagnetic interference, or known as EMI, is a disturbance caused by electromagnetic radiation from an external source. This disturbance can interrupt or degrade the performance of a conventional metallic cable connection. Any object that carries electrical currents can create interference, such as power lines or even the sun. Fiber optics are also resistant to corrosion. The second advantage is scalability. Fiber optics are more scalable as it's simple to install. New equipment can over original fiber. Wavelengths can be turned on or off on demand, which allows for the easy provisioning of services and quick scaling for growing businesses. Optical fibers are also much smaller and lighter than copper wiring. These fibers can typically be placed in preparation for growth needs up to 15 to 20 years in the future. Alternatively, additional cables can be installed later to make way for network expansion. The third advantage is security. Security is a major concern for today's businesses. Fiber optics do not radiate signals, so there is no way to listen in on the transmission passing through. Breaches are also easy to identify as soon as they occur, as any physical break in the system will cause a total system failure. Instead of hardware in several locations, fiber optic network allow you to keep hardware in one location. This makes regulation and maintenance much simpler. The last advantage is long-term cost effectiveness. Long-term, fiber optic networks do not require the same overhead as copper networks. Fiber optic networks are more expensive upfront. However, the capacity for scalability long-term outweighs the initial investment. As the popularity of fiber optic grows, we are likely to see a decrease in cost over time. Thank you. That's it from me.
Disadvantages of fiber optic. First, physical damage. Fiber optic cables are small. They can be easily cut by accident during building renovation and rewiring. Fibers are also sensitive to bending, making laying fiber around corners a tricky business. Fiber optic networks are also susceptible to radiation damage or chemical exposure. Second is fiber fuse. When too much light meets with an imperfections in the fiber, it can occur fiber fuse, which is this occurrence can destroy long length of cable in a short amount of time. Third is unidirectional light propagation. Fiber cables are also limited in the sense that they can only propagate light in one direction. If bidirectional communication is a necessary part of information, transmission within a network. Two current cable must be laid in order to achieve bidirectional propagation of information. And the last one is short-term cost effective. Short-term cost effectiveness. Special test equipment is often required along with installers that have skill and knowledge about laying a fiber optic network. In addition, it may take specialized equipment to diagnose an issue with a fiber optic network, making for higher cost fix should the cable sustain damage. That's all from us. Thank you.